Hey everyone, welcome to another LightWork episode. In this one we're going to be talking about the lux reading side of things. So taking lux measurements and then also populating the lux report. So to do that I'm going to go into my favourite job again, belly full of lollies, open it up. And where you take your lux readings in LightWork is under the spaces. So if you click in space, let's go start with the Wonka storage factory. So I open that one up, you can see this is the before upgrade, and in the top right up here I can go to the after upgrade. And then down the bottom here on the left you have three buttons. You've got the camera, you've got the light bulb, and this one down here is actually a light meter. So if I click on the light meter, you can see it's actually brought up all the lux readings that I've taken. So it got up the top, you can see just over here, just here, that is we've taken 26 readings, and the Australian standard based off the length and width of the room says we need 25, and also the average reading is 256 lux, and the minimum standard we need for this space is 93. Now, how do we know what the standard is and how many lux readings we need to take? That all comes from when you enter the space details. So LightWork works off of the Australian standard 1680, and down here you can see the Australian standard guideline is 90. It's saying we need 92 lux, and that is calculated by the type of space you select under task type. So here, depending on what you're doing in the area, if you're doing lots of detailed work like jewelry making, down the bottom here you can see jewelry making and watches, you're going to need a high lux around 1600. But if you go back down towards the more sort of less detail, you don't need to see as much detail, like movement orientation or intermittent use for the room, such as a loading bay, which is probably what this space is for storage. So I can click on that one and you see it brings up 92 lux. That's because it's taking into account degradation factors, because if I take off and also reflection from the walls and ceiling. So if I get rid of the cleanliness, you can see it drops to 84, and also there we go. So the original is actually 80, and then depending on what sort of technology you use, if you choose LED, we take into account the degradation over time, so how much the light sort of drops off over time, so it adds a bit of extra lux there as a buffer. And also the cleanliness. So if you obviously have a very shiny room or a medical practice with white walls, you're going to get better reflection off the walls and off the ground than you will if it's like a dirty warehouse. So if you click dirty warehouse and scroll back down, it's bumped it up to 108. So you can see we're sort of taking into account some factors that can cause the lux levels to drop on your behalf, so you don't have to worry about it. And then the next thing is how many readings do I need to take, and it's determined by the size of the room. So this one's 400 by 50, and anything over 10 by 10 meters squared needs 25 readings. So that's why if I click OK and then go back into the lux, you can see it's asking me up the top here for 25 readings. Now, how do you add a new reading? When you've got the little cursor selected there, you can grab a reading and move it around. Any of them, put it wherever you want. You can even delete them. Also, if you click the little lux meter, that's supposed to be a little lux meter, you can see a list of readings here. I can click anywhere on the map where I'm standing and enter the details. So let's say I took a reading of 348, take reading, there you go, it's appeared, and also it's going to appear in your list here, number 27. And also if it's getting a bit confusing on your page, there's too many things going on, you can actually, down the bottom here, these little tick boxes, you can choose to show grid or get rid of the grid, and also you can choose to show the technology or hide the technology so you can better see what's going on with your lux readings. You can also choose to hide the lux readings, so those are all options down there as well. Now the good thing about this is once you've entered all those details, it'll tell you if you've met the standard, and then once you hit save, we can go back out into the forms, and then depending on which state you're in, let's say we're in New South Wales, down the bottom here we have the lux level report. So I click on that and it's going to take me through some of the steps. So you can see here I've only taken lux readings in the Wonka storage factory, and it's saying that those readings I've taken have an average of 260 lux, and the standard I needed was to be above 108, so that's why the writing there is green. You met the standard. And you can see in head office in the car park, I haven't actually taken any lux readings, so they're missing. It's also got the IPDs, so you can see what your illumination power density is and whether you've reached your maximum or not. Then if you scroll down, it automatically populates the lux report with every single reading that you've taken, so you can see there's no data for the other spaces. And you can tell if you meet the standard that way. So then when you're happy, what you can do is either send the form via email to whoever might need it, or you might hit done and just save it on the tablet, or you can have a view of the PDF. So it's converting it to a PDF, and it fills out all the details for you, puts in your lux meter and your brand and your calibration date, and then you can scroll through, see all the readings, and it's done for you. Let's go back. Right, so that's how you take your lux readings. For example, it also populates depending on which state you're in. So let's go back and say we're in Victoria. Then we can go to the forms, and they're all different now. But there's also a maintained illuminance table to do with lux in Victoria. So if I open that one up, it gives you a bit of an explanation that there's nothing to do, just hit next. And you can choose some of your tick boxes, yes or no. But then you can see here, the storage factory requires 80 lux, and it's got a depreciation factor, other light loss factor, and you can see the recommended lux after all those different depreciations is 108, and we've done 260, so therefore compliance is true. The other two are false because we haven't done any readings yet. And you can do the same, view the form, send the form, whatever you like. So that's how LightWork makes your life easy in terms of basically taking the data and turning it into a report automatically for you that you can either email off or submit to the ACP. I hope it was helpful. Please contact us directly with any questions or feedback that you might have.